Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Hoop Talk, the podcast. We made it all the way up to episode 13. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment letting us know that you're tuned in, showing some love. We appreciate you for it. We're going to get right into it. No funny business. Let's go right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with the most recent events. Well, I guess now it's no longer the most recent events, but let's just get this out the way early. NBA All-Star Weekend, fellas. Let's talk about it.
Trash.
What are your thoughts? In fact, before we go on rants, let's just talk about our ups and our downs. Mention your favorite moments and mention your least favorite moments. Let's just cut it nice and sweet.
Who wants to go first? I can go first if not.
I'm pretty quick. I can do it pretty quick, I promise you. My favorite moments were the notifications I got on my phone from Matt McCullough and Tyler Hero winning their respective skill challenges. But the actual moment that I did actually get to watch was that skills challenge. Chris Paul is just an evil scientist.
They never specify it. They never say you got to make it, though. I've never heard them say you have to make it.
Me neither.
I'm sure there's a rule book somewhere.
Really quick, Pluto, you know it wasn't even Chris Paul's idea, right?
I thought it was Chris Paul's. It was Wemby's?
Vic's idea. Yeah, that's the
funny. We're never calling him Vic again. We're never calling him Vic again. This man called him
Why
Vic
not?
and him, and they get coffee together.
But nah.
Wow, horrible. But I'll definitely go with that moment right there. I didn't watch any of the game. I still haven't seen any highlights of the game. But all the feedback that I am getting from the game and the fan, feedback, it just was just ugly and just they only got 30 minutes of basketball really. So that's just my feedback on that. Go ahead, whoever wants to go next.
I can go next. I really, really liked how they split up the All-Star game this year. I've been very bored of the old format, and I think if they weren't so annoying with how they did things, this format would have been really fun. Because the four different teams playing against each other, for the most part, the teams were pretty organized. Obviously, the rookie team is dealt a pretty tough hand because they're rookies. But outside of that, those teams, that was a cool idea. Unfortunately, the worst part of the All-Star game was any time Kevin Hart came on the screen. I hate Kevin Hart with a passion. He's ruined basketball media somehow, and he's not even really a part of basketball media. But anytime he comes to basketball media, it's terrible. From the All-Star game, do you remember a few years ago when he was doing the finals? And they had the little screen where it was only a little sliver on the left side, and then all the way on the right, it was Kevin Hart's big-ass head talking.
And they were on the couch, right? They were on the couch with a bunch of NBA players and stuff like that. I know you're talking about
Kevin Hart is the devil. You can go nuts.
Okay. I mean, my favorite moment. I did enjoy some of Matt McClung's dunks. They had some creativity in them, so I did appreciate that. And there was a little pizzazz there with some presentation and stuff and props and all that kind of stuff. So shout out to him. I think he did a good job of putting on a nice show for us to watch. I think Stephen Castle had one memorable dunk. But I say that, and I can't even remember it right now. But in the moment, I did like it, and I enjoyed it. I'll say that much. That's what I liked. I didn't get a chance to see a three-point contest, which is usually the contest that I end up liking the most. But I think I was doing something that day, so I didn't get a chance to get home on time to watch it. I did. My least favorite moment was definitely the All-Star game. I'm not a fan of that format. I actually am the complete opposite of Tyler. I don't like the short games. I don't like the small teams. I think it completely takes away the ability of players going forward to compete for all-star records now because they don't have enough time on the floor to score the points that they need to potentially beat somebody one day or get the rebounds or get the blocks or all that kind of stuff. They don't have the opportunity that they used to have because now you lose the first round of those matchups and you only played, 10 to 15 minutes of basketball? It's I don't like the format. I don't like adding the rising stars to the equation. I'd say there needs to Yeah, there has to be some sort of incentivization to make them want to try harder and play harder. That's actually what I wanted to bring up today, and I want to see what you guys think about it. What if there's already pay incentives, if I'm not mistaken, for making All-Star team and All-Star MVP? What if if I'm not mistaken, there's 12 players per team, right? Normally, not this year, but normally there's 12 players per team, right? Or is it 10?
Yeah.
12 players per team.
12,
So that's 24
12,
players.
12.
What if they incorporated an all-star first team and second team based on the top 10 performers at the All-Star game and added that to the financial calculations that players get for their max contracts, making them eligible for more money if you make an all-star team? Do you not believe that would incentivize players to play much harder to get on that team and potentially get more money when it comes to the contract negotiations? What do you guys think?
I like that idea, but the reason I don't like that idea is that would ultimately cause people to leave small market teams to ensure that they're in an all-star position. Because now they get paid more by being an all-star and obviously, playing well in the all-star game.
But with these new financial rules, it is harder to do that, to get on teams that already have max contract guys. It's not as easy as it used to be.
I know, but you have to admit it yourself. Do you think that people would try to leave, like the Jazz, for example, to go to a bigger team because of this?
I think they would for sure, but would it be possible realistically? How many of them could do it? You know what I mean? And regardless, they do it now anyway. You know what I mean? Like, how many small market teams are realistically going to be able to go to, like, how many players could we name right now that are on a small market team that did not make the All-Star team that could have made it if they went to a big market?
Trae Young?
Realistically could have made it.
Trae Young's in a big market, though.
Trae Young is a good market.
Atlanta's?
Atlanta's a good market.
Atlanta's one of the biggest
I didn't know that.
in the world.
Yeah, Atlanta's full of black people. They love basketball.
Sabonis is a great example. Sabonis, if you put him on a team with spotlight, he's going to make it.
Sabonis is a good example, yeah. But we all thought that he was a snub anyway. But would he... But what team, think about it, what team would he go to where he would still be able to shine at an all-star level?
The Heat?
There's not enough space. Now I get what Nas saying. There's not enough money for them to sign.
How would he end up on the Heat if they already have Bam? We've already established that Sabonis is best at the center right now.
That's exactly why that would work. Bam is best at the 4. We saw in the Olympics. We saw Bam saying it himself. We saw Pat Riley experimenting with lineups at the 4. He'd make perfect sense at the Heat.
No, I don't think that's a bad fit either. But from my thought process, and you correct me if I'm wrong, my thought process is you think it could ruin the league if players try to do that, right? That's kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
But would Sabonis going to the Heat really fit that description, though? Isn't that a pretty normal move? Like, do the Heat really have that much superpowers on that team to say that, oh, my gosh, Sabonis on the Heat, that's a super team? You know what I mean? Like, is it really that big of a deal?
I'm not talking about super teams. I'm talking about people leaving their teams, leaving their small market teams. I'm talking about small market teams just being hurt by this. Not that the other team would be better.
Yeah, I could see that. I will say, selfishly, I don't care as much because at the end of the day, I'm not watching these small market teams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not rooting for the Sacramento Kings to succeed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Lakers fan.
What about OKC?
You know what I mean? OKC's going to do just fine. Nobody in OKC is not going to be an all-star. They have 2 all-stars this year. They're going to be just fine.
They're going to have 3 next year.
That's 4. That's a small market team. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm not rooting for them either. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm only rooting for the Lakers.
No, I get what you're rooting for.
He doesn't care about the little guy.
I don't.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
He doesn't care about the little guy at all, bro. That's what he's getting at here.
It's cool that they're succeeding, but like I don't care if this impacts them. It's gonna impact them regardless. You know what I mean? Like you're telling we had this debate before.
People are gonna die, and that's all right. That's what I was to say.
That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying.
People are gonna die, and that's fine.
No, but I get your point though. No, I get your point though, and it's a valid point. I do agree with it for sure. But it's aside from that, you're kind of picking the lesser of two evils. Do you think it would be worth it? And do you truly believe the impact will be that great to the point where small market teams will just never have stars again? I don't think it would go that deep.
Well, we
just won't
saw
be
what
there as long.
financial obligations do to people. We've seen it in two different situations. Stars will stay on their team to get more money through the supermax, even if it's a small market. But if they have an opportunity to make more money through endorsements or advertisements, they almost always leave. The Giannis's, the Jokic's, like the people that stick with their team are not that prevalent anymore. We don't really see
They're
stars
rare.
stick around with their team. They go where the money is. And if you give people an opportunity to make more money, they will do it.
Yeah, I can see
Especially
that.
because oftentimes they're going to a bigger market. That owner of that team has more money and they're able to put a winning team around them a lot more often. Like the OKC got lucky because they have all these picks. They don't have a rich owner that's willing to shell up the tax and everything to pay people. We're going to start seeing people get traded very soon here. They don't have that kind of money.
My last rebuttal to that, though, and we can squash it after this.
I
There's
don't want to
30
squash it
teams.
though. I have a counter argument that I want to give up.
No.
So I don't want to squash it fully. After you say this.
Oh yeah. So there's 30 teams in the NBA. How many of those teams would be considered big market? Less than 15.
I would
Like
say,
8. Yeah,
I'd
like
say
8
less
to
than 10.
Possibly less than 10.
Even that, yeah.
So list those. Let's say 10, for example, just for the sake of the argument. List those 10 teams. How many of them could fit us a bonus? A I don't know. Whatever. Whoever else is a good example.
I don't think any of them could.
Miami
Every
is
single one
one
of them
example.
could. Every single team could, if all it would take is Sabonis asking out and his value drops. For example, the Clippers have enough salary, enough assets to make that trade. Once Sabonis makes a request saying he no longer wants to be in Sacramento, he wants to go to a bigger market team with eyes on him, the Clippers, they jump into that. The Heat, they jump into that trade. All those teams have assets that they could trade for. They have the salary that they can make work.
But those are all teams that realistically, if those are an option for him, he should explore them with or without this hypothetical rule that I'm presenting. You know what I mean? He should consider getting the hell out of Sacramento regardless. So, like,
Of course, it's a poverty franchise.
my thing is, like, is the rule really the reason why this could happen? Or is it just these players just need to put themselves in better positions regardless?
No, I think loyalty is still a thing sometimes in basketball. I think there are some people that are loyal, and that's why they don't go to better opportunities.
I mean,
So I think it goes both ways.
Sabonis has been tossed around like a woman in OBT, so like he doesn't have no loyalty towards anybody. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
Like,
Nah.
what loyalty is he going to have on the Kings? He was drafted by the Thunder, traded to the Pacers for Paul George, traded to Sacramento for Tyrese Halliburton. What loyalty is he going to have to an NBA team?
He has it, bro. You've never heard him offer any sort of displeasantries or anything with any team that he was on. He talks highly about the Pacers still. He talks highly about Orlando. He talks highly about OKC. That dude, he just plays basketball. He just works.
Yeah, it's a valid
Literally,
point, though.
it's
I'm
a
not
job
against
to
it.
him. Yeah.
I have a counter argument.
Go ahead.
The WNBA All-Star Game, I really actually like that format, so I have an idea. And this is incentivized with money and also to show that you really deserve your place. The most recent WNBA All-Star Game was their Olympic team versus their All-Star team, which was drafted by the remaining players, not in the Olympics. So what if we did this? We took the All-NBA team, we did the top 12 people in that, versus the NBA drafted All-Star team. We incentivize it. The winner makes more money by doing this. How do you guys feel about that?
Wait, but how will we do that if the Olympics is every 4 years?
So I changed it. I said instead of doing the Olympics, we do the All-NBA team, and we do the top 12 from last year, for example.
So it'd be the All-NBA from last year. And they would automatically get an All-Star nod for this year, even if they're playing
They
bad.
automatically get an All-Star nod, and then the other 12 people have to be drafted from the remaining people not on the All-NBA team.
But there's 15 players in All NBA.
Only 12 people get to be picked.
So 12 players, vote getters, I guess.
Or I mean, we could change it to a 15-man lineup, but I don't think they'd play 15. Ever.
No, that's impossible. They barely play 12.
I'm not opposed to drafting 15 people, though. I'm not opposed to drafting 30 All-Stars in total.
Yeah, I mean, no, I am opposed. Like, they're not going to play. They're just really not going to play. So it's like...
That's what I was thinking. So I think the first 12 makes most sense.
Yeah, it would be interesting. So you get an automatic All-Star nod if you make an All-NBA team 1 year for the next year. That's interesting.
How many All-NBA players are not All-Stars?
Really bad season.
That's fine. That's exactly what it is, because the person you're going up against now gets to prove that they deserve that nod over you. They should.
So like snubs versus dubs.
That's really what it is.
Versus a dub.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're showing that you got snubbed.
I would love to see Trae Young against like the top NBA. You know what I'm saying? And some of those people who aren't doing that, you know, who don't get that recognition to shit on them during like an All-Star game and stuff like that. I mean, I like that. I like the idea.
I mean, he was an All-Star this year, but
who?
Trae Young.
Yeah, but it wasn't by like getting picked. It was by injury. It's not the same.
It still goes on the paperwork, goes on his resume. But
what do we think about it, though?
Only thing I'd have against it is I think the latter half of that team wouldn't be as impressive as the first half of that team, because now you're going to talk about Jokic and Giannis and Shea and Luka in most cases, but he's having a down year. But Luka in most cases, I can go down the list. Embiid also in most cases, another guy who's having a down year, but in most cases he should be there too. That Anthony Edwards, Cat, who's having a phenomenal season. LeBron is always going to be All NBA until he passes away. I think that first half of the team
passes away.
Yeah, he's not going to retire anytime
at this
soon.
Point.
So I'm pretty sure
he's 50 at this point.
He retires. But either way,
I'm going to die before he retires.
I think Bronny will retire before LeBron retires. But either way, like I think that All NBA team will just look so much better, and I don't know how enticing that is for me as a fan.
So I say this because the WNBA did it, of course, and the Olympic team did not win. The leftover All-Stars won. And I think in a one-game series or a one-game matchup, I think that you'd be surprised.
Yeah, but
I don't have it off the top of my head. But
didn't the women?
It kind of had like a March Madness vibe to it, though. My bad. Go ahead, no.
Isn't it a very common opinion though that the women's Olympic team was picked incorrectly, or not incorrectly, but there were a lot of picks that people were not a fan of? Like, didn't Enrique not make it?
Enrique should not have made it to the Olympic team. Enrique had a terrible season.
Oh, really? I thought she had a great season. Not because how can I say that? I don't know if she did. What I say is I from the beginning of the season I thought that she did. I guess I didn't. I don't know her full season and how it went.
No, Enrique had a very down season. Very inefficient for her. All the way across the board, it was not the best. So I don't think that she missed it. I don't think that she should have made it. Caitlin, you could argue there, but even then, I mean,
yeah, that would have been a tough decision to make. But Diana Taurasi made it, so that's something there. But
outside of that, though, the people on the Olympic team, almost all of them are on the all WNBA teams. So it shows you that they were probably there for a reason, but they lost.
Yeah, true. I'd be interested in testing it out. It is tough, just because I feel like it is different. You know what I mean? Like I don't want this to come off negatively, but like, would you really like put your money on Shea, Jokic, Doncic, and Giannis losing to Trae Young and Jaylen Brown and you know what I mean? Like it's like, would you really bet on that? Like, I don't know.
I think I would.
I would never.
I genuinely
think that I would never in a million years. Is it possible? Of course, because it's basketball at the end of the day, and anybody can get hot, anybody can get going. But it's
so. For example,
hard.
some people that we could pick that were not on any of the teams. We have, Jaylen Brown, who's available. We have everyone from the Cleveland Cavaliers. There are some names that are not on here. I don't even think Embiid is on here.
Wait,
Embiid's not on here.
time out. Donovan Mitchell wasn't an All-Star?
No. No, not All-Star, All-NBA.
Oh, I was about to get shook here.
Anthony Davis is not. Oh, no, he is. I'm sorry, I missed him. I see Anthony Davis. There are some names here that we could pick from. Karl Anthony Towns is not on this list. I think that you could field a pretty good team that would actually, be pretty interesting to watch. Is Victor on here? Victor's not even on here.
It'll definitely
be
a
B team though, with a lot of hungry people on it.
It'd be interesting. I'm not all the way sold, but it would be interesting. I wouldn't mind trying it out one year, but my issue is, how does that promote a better game?
Because it incentivizes people that did not get selected to a position that earns them more money to now have that opportunity to recoup the money that they've lost and now beat people that they were snubbed over in their minds. I think that really pushes people to try harder because it shows you next year or at the end of the season, I should have been all NBA. Not Shea is a weird example.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. That makes sense because at the end of the day, like, it kind of does give it a competitive edge that Nas is looking for. Because I think if you put Trae Young, like, if all the chips fell in the right, bag or whatever, you put Trae Young, like, in that position to be the villain, he's a perfect villain. Victor's a good villain. Like, that would actually be something I would watch because it's like, I like the underdog winning, like most people do. So that's a good watch to me.
I feel like he's like the most.
Oh, he's in his villain. He's getting in his villain era.
After the skills game, he's a villain now. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
No hero in a story would do what he did.
Well, yeah. Well, aside from that, Victor is definitely a fan favorite. The world loves him. They're shoving him down our throats. He's not a villain.
Whoa.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. No Diddy. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
But he's not a villain. He's not.
What do you think about the idea? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I try it out. I don't think it would really increase the competitiveness though. I don't think it would. But I'm willing to try anything at this point. I'm disappointed. I hate it. It's just too much of nothing. It's just too much of going out there to have fun and I don't know, man. I didn't tune in for that. I didn't tune in for you to just go out there and just goof around. I don't know. It's just not for me. Like, these are the best players, quote unquote, the best players in the world. LeBron didn't play. Giannis didn't play. Anthony Edwards didn't play. Injury, supposedly, but like the guys who were left over, y'all could have tried. You know what I mean? Y'all could have done something more. And I'll always remember that first year. And this is the last thing I'll say about this All-Star topic, and we can move on. But I always remember that first year that they implemented the All-Star draft. That first year where they tried that out. And they did the Kobe fourth quarter rule.
Yeah.
That first year they tried that out, I was so happy.
That was a good game.
Is the All-Star game finally back? And maybe it was because it was the Kobe rule implemented. Maybe it was because it was a draft setting where these players basically said, oh, I think this guy's better than you, so I'm going to draft him before you. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe that was what drove them to go out there and be like, oh, you didn't draft me before this guy? I'm going to show you now. You know what I mean? I feel like that was the energy that they had. And it was great. This was back when Kyle Lowry was still an impactful player in the NBA. He closed out the fourth quarter. That game, it was the same game where Joel Embiid hit LeBron James with a little shimmy and fadeaway, and it went viral. It was just a super competitive game.
That was the beginning of Jokic's villain arc because he got picked last, and then he just became the MVP every season afterwards.
No, that was a different year, but yeah.
No, he didn't win that year. I'm saying like.
But yeah, just overall, it was just competitive. It was a great game. They played hard the entire fourth quarter. They started playing with effort in the third quarter. I would say the first two quarters weren't terrible either. They didn't play their best, but they weren't
for
terrible
all-star quality though.
Yeah,
much better than he ever was.
Yeah, that was a game that I always remember. I'm a huge supporter of Kyle Lowry. I love players like him and what he brings to the table. I was very happy to see the coaches chose to have him close that fourth quarter because you know how basketball fans are. Nobody wanted to see that. But I'm like, that is exactly what's supposed to happen. That's how this game stays competitive with a gritty ass mofo like Kyle Lowry, who's going to go out there, draw some charges, foul you, make you mad, talk trash. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we need. And that was a great game
All the
that I'll
time he's
always
looking thick
remember.
as hell. That's the crazy part too.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want the competitiveness.
It was fun though. I remember there was a point in that game where like it really threw me off when LeBron and Kevin Durant were trapping Steph. Like seeing that in an All-Star game, you don't see that anymore. People don't trap people. They don't even really defend. They put a hand up and that's it for a second.
Yeah, great
Oh,
game.
real quick,
always remember.
before we move on from that game, the reason I said that's the beginning of Jokic's villain era, because that year Jokic got picked last because no one wanted to pick him.
No, I know what year you're talking about.
That.
That wasn't the year he got picked last. I know what year you're talking about. That was more recent than that.
That was the KD LeBron draft.
No, that was Giannis and LeBron.
Oh yeah, that was the Giannis LeBron draft. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the first one. That wasn't the first one they did. I know what you're talking about. I can't tell you the specific year, but I know what you're talking about. I remember that I watched.
It's either 2019 or 2023. That's the two times that they did it. Or 2020.
Not to be morbid, it was the year that Kobe passed away, or was it the year afterwards?
2020.
The one I'm talking about was the year Kobe passed away, and they implemented the Kobe rule. The year you're talking about was not the same year. I know what year you're talking about, but that came after. I think that was the last time they did the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because who was it that year? It was Joel and LeBron that year.
It was Giannis and LeBron. It was Giannis and LeBron.
Back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, Giannis and LeBron have been captains for the majority of the time.
4 times.
Yeah, 4 times. Giannis and LeBron were captains 4 times. I think KD and LeBron were captains twice. LeBron was captain every time. I'll tell you that. And then it was either KD or Giannis the other years. I don't think anybody else got picked. Yeah,
it's pretty much it's just been LeBron. It's kind of lame, actually.
Yeah, but
it sucks.
Enough about that, though. I had another topic. I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at the notes. If not, we can just kind of breeze through a little bit. But I am curious to see how much of basketball do you guys follow? I'm the type that likes to follow basketball from a very young point in the player's career. So I'm not a super savant when it comes to high school basketball, but I do keep up with as much as I can. Not as much these days, I will admit, but in the past I did way more. So I'm curious if you guys do follow along high school careers. Do you have a possible favorite or one that you think was the best high school class in basketball history?
So I wanted to ask while we got on here to clarify, were you talking about like in high school they were considered the best or they had the best career in the NBA? I was thinking you meant like in high school, like coming out of high school, they were like,
yeah, like NBA career. Yeah. So which high school class spawned the best NBA players? I could go with mine.
Let me change my answer then.
I can go with my favorite
I got
first.
Mine.
I'll give you my favorite first. I don't know if I would say it was the best, but it's definitely my favorite. But 2004 was elite. 2004 was a phenomenal year for high school basketball. You're going to have Rajon Rondo drafted to the NBA. Not all these players were drafted the same year, by the way. They were just drafted eventually, I believe. Some of these guys could have been, what do you want to call it? Some of these guys could have been juniors, could have been sophomores, but they were, I don't know, were they all seniors? I don't even know. Who cares? Let me just name them. Rajon Rondo, Kyle Lowry, Rudy Gay, LaMarcus Aldridge, Dwight Howard, Al Jefferson, Al Horford, Josh Smith, Joakim Noah, Roy Hibbert. I said that one first, even though he's not first on the list, because I know you guys will remember him more. But this last one, you guys might not remember, but he was good in the NBA. Aaron Aflalo, he was good in the NBA.
I know exactly who Aaron Aflalo.
Wasn't a superstar or
Yeah.
anything like that, but he was a bucket. He was tough. He was definitely tough.
Yeah, he averaged like 16. I think his best season.
He
He
was
was
tough.
definitely good. He
He
played.
was tough.
He had good season with the Magic too. He had really good seasons with the
He
Magic.
did. He was
Yeah,
tough. He was a
definitely
good
area to
player.
follow.
I don't know if I would vote that
Yeah.
as the best, but it was my favorite high school class.
I got mine.
Go ahead.
I got I saw what. Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
So originally, I'll go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna just shut up now. Go ahead.
Originally, I thought you were talking about coming out of high school, and I said 2016 had like Jalen Hands, it had TJ Leaf, it had Lonzo Ball, it had everybody that we kind of talk about now. De'Aaron Fox was even there, Malik Monk. But now that you're talking NBA, I'm going to go really recent actually, and I'm going to go 2020. I read a couple months ago. This is one of the best. This is Cade Cunningham. This is Jalen Green. This is Evan Mobley. This is Kuminga. This is Scotty Barnes. This is Zaire Williams if you want to add him in. Brandon Boss if you want to add him in. Jalen Suggs. Jalen Johnson. Keon Johnson. Mark Williams. Josh Primo. Daron Sharp. Like a lot of these, Cam Thomas is on here. Like this is a pretty good squad of people that are still currently in the NBA, and they're kind of expected to be there for a while. Going down further, we have Walker Kessler. This is a pretty nice squad of people, I think. 2020.
Yeah, that's good. I have another one, but I'll let Orlando go first.
Yeah, sorry.
I have two more actually.
Over here. I don't know the exact year, but I'm pretty sure it was the year D'Angelo and Ben Simmons were on that same Mount Verde team. I can't think of that year because there was also other great teams that year. Providence was pretty good that year. Oak Hill was always good. I just can't think of the year. There was literally a video that shows them all. Yeah, Brandon Ingram was in that class. I'm pretty sure. A couple people were in that class.
So D'Angelo Russell graduated 2014, and then Ben Simmons 2015 from Montverde.
But they played together, right?
Yeah,
they played together.
Yeah, class of 2014. I have it up right here. You have Emmanuel Mudiay, Justice Winslow, D'Angelo Russell, Jaleel Okafor, Karl Anthony Towns, Cliff Alexander, Miles Turner, Kevon Looney.
Devin Booker's going to be on there.
Stanley Johnson, Kelly Oubre. Devin Booker's not on here, so I think he must have been in a different class because there's no way they left.
A lot of servable players.
He wasn't a high prospect.
Great class.
No, but this is based on NBA career, not NBA career. I wouldn't say, but like coming into the NBA. I guess that's how I would describe it. Coming into the NBA.
It's weird. Yeah, he graduated. He graduated in 2014, Moss Point High School.
No, he's not on this list. And
he was not a high prospect until he got to college. He was not a high prospect.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
To me. That's one of my favorite class of recent. Also, that 2003 LeBron James class wasn't bad either. Even though a lot of those people didn't go straight to the NBA, you got Carmelo Anthony. Or was Carmelo Anthony a year before LeBron, like on age?
Melo's a year
No,
before.
never mind.
Yeah, Carmelo would have been.
Yeah, never mind. I'll take it back.
2003 was a great year too, though. That's actually number 4 on the list that I'm looking at right now. Yeah, Chris Paul, Luol Deng, LeBron James, Paul Millsap, Kendrick Perkins, Trevor Ariza, Chris Humphries, Charlie Villanueva, Brandon Bass.
I think Bosch too, right?
No, Bosch would not have been on here. No, Bosch would have been in college.
Is Bosch?
Was he a 2-year college player?
No, he
I didn't know that. I thought Bosch was
2003. If LeBron was a senior in 2003, then Bosch would have had to be in college.
Yeah, you're right.
Because LeBron came straight out of high school.
Oh, wait, I thought we were talking about them graduating high school. Oh, yeah, you're right. Ignore me. Ignore everything I'm saying.
I thought Bosch came out of high school. Where did Bosch go to college at? I thought Bosch came straight out of high school.
Georgia. He went to Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah, Bosch.
I forgot about college.
But a couple other classes to mention, just because we're on the topic. 2006 was an elite class. You got Russell Westbrook, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Taj Gibson, Brooke Lopez, Mike Conley, Ty Lawson, Robin Lopez, Gerald Henderson, Ryan Anderson, and Thaddeus Young.
I I don't think Kevin Love. I think Kevin Love was a one and done at UCLA.
Not. No, Kevin Love came in the same year. Russell Westbrook came into the same year at UCLA. They played together.
Oh, I know one of them played 2 years at UCLA, but
It was Westbrook.
yeah, Westbrook,
Yeah, it
I
was
think.
Westbrook,
But
not Kevin Love.
Kevin Love was actually class of 2007, which is the number one ranked class on this list. It was Derrick Rose, James Harden, Kevin Love, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Chandler Parsons, Jeff Teague, OJ Mayo, Eric Gordon, Kenneth Faried, and Evan Turner.
Jeff Teague was a plus. Jeff Teague was a plus. Oh, high school. Okay, gotcha. Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow. That's a
these are some
really good class
crazy
right
ass
there,
high
though.
school classes. Imagine going in the AAU circuit and having to match up against these guys. It's crazy.
So, real quick, Jeff Teague actually talks about a lot of that on his podcast, where he would go to like these ADC camps and things like that, and they would all be together, and it'd be so deep. It'd be like I'm trying to think of his class. A lot of those players that you mentioned, but even those like low budget players like Eric Gordon, Mike Conley, who played with Greg Oden actually is from Indiana. He played with Mike Conley in high school, which is crazy. Courtney Lee also played with Jeff Teague in high school.
Eric
They're
Gordon and
Indiana in
Derrick Rose
general
played
has
together.
yeah. But that whole Midwest, though, they have a lot of players that played with each other in high school or played against each other in high school. Like George Hill and Jeff Teague were rivals in high school, and Courtney Lee and Jeff Teague played together. And then there was other players that were not as big, but they were NBA talents. So like that's kind of crazy though. That AAU circuit he was saying that was like one of the deepest AAU circuits. And the thing, like last thing I'll say is Jeff Teague didn't get ranked until he went to his first like camp. After he left that camp, he became top 50, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Devin Booker going into college was ranked 22, bro. It's crazy how one small thing just boosts you up.
Yeah, Devin Booker won lottery after coming off the bench, which is crazy.
Yeah. Jeff Teague actually played with Greg Oden and Mike Conley on an AAU team together. And Mike Conley's dad used to coach them, which is crazy.
I did not know
Mike
that.
Conley's dad was like a track star, I believe.
Yeah, he's also a great AAU coach.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The crazy thing is his name is Mike Conley too.
Yeah, he's Mike Conley.
I know. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, these guys in the AAU circuit just on each other's ass, bro. That's just crazy to have to play with these guys because these guys were tough. These are not average high school players. These are grown men that just happen to be 16 and 17 years old, but they are not.
You knew they were going to the league by the time they got into freshman year. You knew
exactly.
At that point already.
Imagine having to go up against these guys. It's crazy.
Imagine having to go up against Michael Beasley. Yeah. Imagine having to go up against Michael Beasley and Kevin Durant on the same team because they were on the same AAU team too. That's
after you just took the FCAT and now you have to go and defend Michael Beasley and Kevin Durant for 40 minutes and the whole time they're just laughing at you.
To be honest, bro, I don't know if you guys ever. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to watch like a high school talent that everybody knew was going to go to the league. I got an opportunity to watch Austin Rivers get to play Dennis Diaz, and the jump because Dennis Diaz was a D1 player, but Austin Rivers was for sure an NBA player. Those are two different kind of players, like way.
I went to school with Dennis. People did say Dennis was good, but NBA
no one
talent
said he was going to the NBA.
Yeah, I got to watch. Funny enough, I also got to watch Austin Rivers, and he completely massacred Palm Bay High. That was an adventure to watch for sure.
He did it everywhere, everywhere when he was in high school. Austin Rivers was killing everybody.
Yeah, Austin Rivers
one of the best high
school
ever.
Yeah, Austin Rivers had one of the best high school careers I've ever witnessed in my life.
Him and John Wall.
I think Austin Rivers is over John Wall.
Speaking of, though, who do you guys think had a better one and done year in college? Michael Beasley or Kevin Durant?
Did either of them win? Did either of them win a championship that year?
No.
I don't think either of them had a better one. Wasn't it very similar?
Beasley was far better rebounder. I'd say Durant was a much better scorer.
Yeah.
Skill wise, I guess numbers wise, it was relatively similar, but Kevin Durant was always the more skilled scorer. And I'm taking
Yeah.
this from Beasley. I'm not even. These aren't my words. This is something he said on Jeff Teague's podcast. Um, Beasley thinks Kevin Durant had the better one and done season. I also do agree. I think Kevin Durant had a crazy one and done year.
I'd say they had kind of the same, really.
Are we
Beasley
only
had
picking between
Both the
those two?
stats.
Beasley had a crazy one and done year as well. It could go either way, honestly.
Yeah, like their numbers are so close to each other. I don't think you have to pick. It's weird how close they are. So, Pluto, let me give you an idea because I have it up. Kevin Durant was 26 points, 11 rebounds a game, shooting 47% from the field, 40% from three. Michael Beasley was 26 points a game, 12 rebounds, shooting 53% and 38%. Like, it is pretty close. I would give the nod to Beasley probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
Beasley.
think it depends on how you like to get it done. I think Beasley was better at getting the basket than Kevin Durant at the time, but I don't know. I think it's like who do you want to get it done? Like, do you need someone who's going to score off the mid range and kind of slow the game down like Beasley could, or are you going to want someone like a power forward damn near who can shoot, stretch the floor? And it just all depends on what you want. But me personally, I think out of high school and then college, I think Beasley had a bigger people were kind of like saying Beasley was the best player of his draft class at one point, like before it's all said and done. So I think I go Beasley. I think I like Beasley.
If I had to draft, I'd draft Beasley.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would have picked wrong.
What you know at the moment.
Yeah, I would have picked wrong.
Me too. Yeah, everybody would have. Everybody would have.
Because Beasley has all the skill though. He has all the skill to be just as good as Kevin Durant without a shadow of a doubt. He's just a hot head. He's just a hot head.
Yeah, and he's left-handed. So
crazy. He's a hot head. He was just a mess. Made a lot of bad decisions.
Immature.
Yeah, basically.
Can't stay off the weed.
Yeah, basically. Him and another one. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Did he get suspended for weed?
Anything to do with that?
I don't know.
Did he get suspended for it though?
I'm not sure.
No, he didn't.
Excuse me.
I'm almost certain he did.
But moving on from that topic, a lot of great high school players and classes. It's phenomenal that these guys were actually like in the high school circuit playing against each other. AAU at least, because they probably didn't play each other in high school that much. But AAU is crazy. But we did mention him a little bit. Ben Simmons is on the Clippers now. First game was actually a good game. What do you guys think about that move? Do you think he fits the Clippers, or do you think that was a weird addition?
I love it.
Like it.
Ben Simmons getting paid $50 million a year. He sucks. Ben Simmons getting paid $3 million a year, or $1 million, or $2 million. I forget what it is. That's great.
No,
he's a better player because you're paying less for him. It's crazy, but it's the truth. That's the NBA. Like you're literally the NBA. I'm getting a discounted player, and honestly, bro, that's a major pickup. I think the Lakers should have went a little harder. I think they could have used someone like him to get rid of Vanderbilt. And, I mean, he doesn't shoot anyways, and he could do way more than Vanderbilt does. I don't know if he's as great of as an all-ball defender or defender in general as Vanderbilt, but he's obviously a above-average defender, I think Ben Simmons is. But I like it.
Elite defender.
Yeah, at his best, for sure. He's probably the best defender in the NBA at one point, we were all saying, because he can guard the 1 through 5.
I still thought so, yeah. I really thought so.
Yeah, at one point I did too. That's what made him great, was how good of a defender he was. But I like it. I think he adds another wrinkle to the fold. I think he can run that little short roll. I think he can also be the pick man, not just the facilitator. And then you have Ty Lue there. Ty Lue's creative as fuck when it comes to his players and how he uses them. I think he could really really do well on this team, and trick someone to paying him $20 million next year.
Yeah, I think he's going to
$20 million for Ben Simmons is not the worst. I was going to say.
It's not in this market. But yeah, I think it's a good fit. I like it. It gives them a crazy type of versatility that you don't see very often, to be able to have him on the floor with James Harden. You can have him in possessions where he plays that dunker spot, that slasher spot, and then you can have him in possessions where he's the primary ball handler making the decisions. And I will never say no to that because Ben Simmons is one of the best playmakers the league has seen in recent years, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I think it's an interesting fit, and I do agree. I think Ty Lue is a phenomenal coach and can do something to put him in a position to succeed, very similar to how he did with Westbrook. He put him in a position to succeed after most were
Yeah,
thinking that succeeding with Westbrook was impossible. You know what I mean? And they
yeah.
didn't go anywhere. I'm not saying they won a
They didn't
championship off of
succeed.
it, but he
He played
succeeded
great
as a
though.
player. You know what I mean? He played great. He
Yeah,
looked good. The Clippers, they're injury prone. They have all these other problems to work around. But it's interesting. I think it could fit. He's a role player at this point in his career, and I think he's a great role player to have, probably.
One thing I
kind of
would
like that
say though
Draymond.
is I knew, yeah, he's just like Draymond. He's just like Draymond. I knew he was going to LA because there's no way a young socialite like himself would go anywhere but LA. So it was very evident. He's going to either the Clippers or the Lakers. He's got to make sure he's somewhere out there in the hidden hills, partying, living life.
Yeah, but
Living vicariously through Ben Simmons is crazy.
on other news, though, Bobby Portis just got suspended for
Did you hear how?
violating the NBA's drug policy. How?
So it's it kind of sucks. He has 2 pills. He's prescribed one of them, and then he was prescribed another one not too long ago. The pills, you can look them up somewhere. They look almost exactly the same. They're both just white generic pills. One of them was just recently banned, and he got banned for 25 games for taking it. The pills are so similar.
That's crazy.
They are so similar.
That's crazy.
That sucks.
Do you know what the medications were for, or are they just like supplements?
It's for a pain medication. It's a pain medication they all take. It's like Toradil or something. Toradil?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Toradol,
about. Yeah, I thought they usually get that in a shot. I thought they usually get a shot in their butt that way. That's crazy.
They could also have a pill. So it's Toradol is the one that's no longer banned. Tramadol is the one that was recently banned.
Oh, I give that to old people all the time. That's my job. That's my job.
They look.
That's actually really
they're both
strong.
generic white pills, bro. They're generic white pills. Generic as hell.
Yeah, that sucks for Bobby Portis. And big hit for the Bucks, considering they're trying to make this push. 25 games puts them out for the bulk of the rest of the season. They only have 30 games left, if that.
I think that's the rest of the regular season for them. They are at 50, 53 games. Yeah, he's going to miss some of the playoffs.
Oh man, that sucks.
That sucks.
That's
Yeah,
a big
He's
hit
going to
for
miss
them.
5 games in the playoffs.
People think it's like him missing the games. For me, it's more the cohesiveness they need to build with Kyle Kuzma and all those players that they got now. Well, really Kyle Kuzma, but
I don't really think
cohesiveness.
Kyle Kuzma is important enough to build cohesiveness with. I think he just needs to fit in
No.
and just take shots.
Rotation wise, I think it's more rotation wise. That's what I'm saying. Like him getting back into rotation and fitting that in. It just never goes good for teams when players come back from injuries or suspensions. And you know what I'm saying? The flow of the game and stuff that they have going on. It's just gonna suck.
Yeah, sucks for the Bucks. Sucks for Bobby Portis. Because I'm assuming this is a non-paid suspension, right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaving a lot of money on the
That's a
I
lot
thought
of
it was
money.
crack. I genuinely thought it was crack. Have you seen his eyes?
Oh God, that man is on crack
I've
cocaine.
never seen eyes wider open in my life. More dilated.
Can the NBA Player Association resend this or kind of challenge this?
I think he has to.
I'm sure they can't. There was probably a notice put out when this was banned to discard of any of them, and he chose not to, most likely.
Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. The NBA is too smart not to cover themselves on these type of things. So
Yeah, I'm sure this has been told multiple times.
Yeah, he can submit an appeal. I'm sure that's how these things usually work. But if he hasn't already, then that means he got caught and he knows.
I would appeal for a short suspension. Yeah, I would appeal for if it's not red-handed and it's an honest mistake. I would at least try to appeal for a shorter suspension.
But there's no way
At
to
least,
prove that. There's legitimately no way to prove that.
Yeah, that's
Unless you blame it on your agent, which it looks like they are going to do right now. They're saying that his agent gave it to him.
The last time a player This is not basketball related.
Damn.
But the last time a player blamed their agent for a mistake, the agent ended up going to jail. So if we're going to pull a Shohei Ohtani, then we could go ahead and do that. But
I thought you turned Nerlens. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani crazy. He blamed his agent for a gambling issue, and his agent, I think, went to jail. I'm pretty sure. I think I might be wrong.
And we all know his agent just took the fall. We all know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That sucks.
But not to dwell too much on that. But yeah,
did his agent sue him? Sorry.
No, Ohtani sued his agent.
Did his agent sue him?
No, Ohtani sued his agent.
Damn. He took the blame from you, and now you're suing him too. That's insane.
No, I think that is. I think that was part of taking the blame. But I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but it could have been his agent. You know what I mean? It really could have. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to be that guy though.
I don't know Ohtani personally, so like maybe he has a gambling problem, maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? Legends in the game have gambling problems all the time. I mean, shit, look at Michael Jordan. But other than that, next topic. I got two more things on my list. I'm trying to decide. Actually, no, let me jump out of NBA because I just saw this on my list and I really want to talk about this. Juju versus UCLA. She whooped that ass. Oh my God. That was one of
I watched those highlights.
That is one of the most electrifying games I've ever watched in college women's basketball. I've seen a few. Caitlin Clark was involved in the majority of those. But this is one of the ones that I watched. I don't even know.
Same, love. Same.
I don't even know what prompted me to turn this on. I'm not sure what happened, but I saw Juju block like 3 shots in a row, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm staying tuned in. Forget Marvel Rivals. I'm watching this tonight. But she went crazy. 38 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 blocks, a career high. 8 blocks.
Wild.
She went crazy. The atmosphere was out of this world. The energy in that building was phenomenal, and I cannot wait. I think she's, 2 years away from getting drafted, right?
Yep.
I cannot wait.
Sadly.
I hope this energy follows her forever because we need this in the WNBA. I hope Caitlin Clark becomes an even larger star in order to build this momentum. And I don't know if that's the year where we'll finally see the major jump that the WNBA has been looking for. But I think Juju is going to make a huge spike based on what Caitlin has already built. I think Juju's really going to spike it even more.
These next 3 years for WNBA is wild.
Yeah. The thing about Juju is Juju's like a girl's girl. Like, she's like, no offense to the women NBA, and what they produce. But there's not a lot of girls in the NBA. That's what's happening to the women.
No, there is.
Now. Like,
you got to tap it.
Angel Reese. No. I'm giving them, like, they're getting their recognition now. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got the Angel Reese. But it has nothing to do with looks. More so, like, she's a big-ass guard. Like, for a woman NBA player, just a girls college basketball player. She's big as hell. Like, and she's tough, bro. And another thing that I noticed about her game is that, like, her handle, again, I'm not trying to discredit any woman, but her handle is just as good as probably, like, a lot of the male basketball players in the NBA right now. Or maybe even a lot better. Like, her handle is crazy, bro. Like, it's on a string.
She reminds me of Paige.
Like, she's really good.
Because Paige's handle's like that. Remember, Paige grew up with Chet and Jalen Suggs.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, Juju's nice. She's tough. She's raw.
She's tall as hell too. Like, she's tall, but she's like really fluid somehow, and I don't understand it. Like, Caitlin Clark was considered a big guard, and she's 6 foot. Juju's 6'2". She's only 2 inches shorter.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
To give you an idea.
She's huge, bro. She's huge.
And like her game developed. I think it's going to continue to develop so well because she's like her game resides around her just consistently making tough shots. And if you're able to do that in like clutch time, that translates everywhere. It translates into her playing WNBA.
Whatever league you play,
making playoffs eventually. Whatever she decides to do, she's good at making tough shots. She's good at hitting threes. She's a ridiculous rebounder, bro. She's averaging like 9 rebounds a game right now as a guard. I'm
I would
excited for
love
her.
to see her do Rivals 1-on-1. I would. That's where I would go, and to whatever cities they're doing that 1-on-1, and I would actually go watch that because she's
You
gonna
know where
kill
they
it
do the one-on-ones
whenever
at?
she makes it
They
to
do
the
them
Rivals.
in Miami.
Yeah, we gotta. I would love, like, if we're, obviously we're still gonna be potted by that time. When she gets to the Women NBA, she's doing Unrival. I'm going to her first Unrival season. Like, I'm not. That shit's gonna be crazy, bro. That shit's gonna be crazy.
I'm telling you, really quick, I'm going to plug in Rival real quick. If you have the opportunity to go, it's cheap, go. It's so fun.
Yeah,
It's such a great experience. You get 2 games for $45. You can't beat
it
that.
looks like it's a lot more like. I mean, correct. You went, Tyler. It looks like you get a bang for your buck too. Like, you're actually like close enough to where, like, you can see the sweat. You can see certain moves. You can see, like, gestures being made. Like when someone's pissed about something. Like, it looks like you're really into action from what I saw
Yeah,
and
I
how
could
the
tell
seats
that
are set up.
Rakia just got lip filler right before the game. That's how close we were.
Golly, goodness.
I could tell. It
Yeah, but
was good, though. I recommend it to everybody.
that was a crazy game though. To go back to that, I was so
Yeah.
excited. I was like, damn, man, I've never seen such an exciting game of basketball. I've been watching Duke this year because Cooper Flag revived my interest, and I haven't even seen a game like that from Cooper
Cooper
Flag.
is
A
balling
game that's that exciting. Um, she has a great future, man, and I hope everything works out exactly as planned.
for
And
sure.
WNBA is in good hands, man. The WNBA is in good hands. Now it's just a matter of them making the right decisions. Because I still stand on my same take. They have one of the worst marketing teams I've ever witnessed in my life. So
That
they
you
need
read
to
my
To
improve.
mind,
this day.
Nas.
Huh?
You read my mind, Nas. 100%. They have the worst marketing ever,
Yeah, they need to
ever.
improve
And
that somehow. And I think the NBA
I want to
is to
say something
blame
really
at some
quick.
point. But yeah, go ahead.
I don't like you would think that they would start getting worried or they would start changing things up with how well Unrivaled is doing. Like their marketing is great, they're playing the players, like people are talking about not coming back to the WNBA. You would think that they would make a change at some point and be like, we got a bunch of money, we have a bunch of stars, let's change our product a little bit. But I still feel like they're not doing things right. Like they're not making good decisions. They're not advertising their players as much as they should be. I should be getting force-fed advertisements from Asia, from Caitlin, from Angel, from all of them. I should just be seeing them nonstop, but I don't.
Yeah, they gotta
Yeah, I
do
couldn't
better.
agree with you on that.
They gotta do better. But I'm
And I
gonna
hate
go on
the
another
only
rant.
time I mean, last thing I'm gonna say. I hate the only time that we do get to see these players and we do get to see these women. Like, it's like their clothes or drama that's going on in their life. Like, it's never like their game a lot of the time. And it's kind of annoying. Other than Caitlin Clark, it's kind of annoying because I don't really care what Angel Reese says or does off the court. I would want to be force fed more Angel Reese, rebounding games, like, because that's what she's good at. She's a great rebounder, a great big man. So, like, I don't know. I don't care about the other stuff. I want to see the game. Like, I think I'd be more interested in that than the drama.
I think that's a hump
Even going in an
that
advertisement.
I think that's a hump that they might never be able to go over because in the marketing and advertising world, it doesn't really matter how many years pass. Sex will always sell. That's always going to be a thing. And
Yeah,
these are women. These are women. A lot of them, a vast majority of them, are beautiful women, and that's
Gorgeous.
just that's just it. You know what I mean?
for sure,
And
for sure.
and marketing teams and advertising teams and promos or promoters. I'm sorry, they're gonna sell that. You know what I mean? And I don't know if we want to turn this into a conversation, but I'll say it and see where it goes. Angel Reese is impacting that as well. She is,
Yeah, yeah.
presenting herself
She's
as
the leader in
this.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, she is presenting herself in that fashion, and she is an influential figure in women's basketball right now. Um,
yeah.
so it's like
She is.
that is a hump that they're gonna have to overcome because I know they don't like it fully. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. Nobody should be tuned in to see what's the latest outfit they're wearing and who's the sexiest looking girl in the WNBA. You know what I mean? Nobody should be tuned in for those reasons, and they have every right to not like that aspect of it. But I don't know if that's a hump you'll ever be able to overcome. I think they're just gonna have to work around
Figure it
it.
out.
and just figure
Yeah,
out a
'cause
way to
they
make
sh-
a name for themselves in another way.
it'll happen. It happens by creating a better brand, and it's a process. Right now, you need to do whatever it takes to advertising, and if that's what you're doing right now, that's what you're doing. It's working, and
No facts.
you
Whatever
just
works,
need to
man.
figure out a way to make it more of a household name.
No
Yeah.
facts.
And they're doing it good. It's happening though. We're getting it. Like you got the Angel Reese's, you got the Caitlin Cards, you've got those two
Got the
right there are
Cams, the
the two like you
Rakias.
would say that's the magic and bird right now. That's the magic and bird,
Yeah.
whether we want to accept it or not. It's what they do with those two, and Juju's the Michael Jordan. So when Juju's there, hopefully the platform's a lot cleaner. And when she graces us with her presence in the Women's NBA, we're definitely gonna. Hopefully the product's good enough to where we're not worried about Juju's lipstick, and we're worried about Juju dropping 40 or 30 points a night.
We'll be
So
too
hopefully we
concerned
get
And
with
it
it.
should
Erica Kane's
happen.
nail polish, so I don't think we'll worry about her.
Yeah, even the NBA is still doing that.
The
They always-
MNBA.
Gotcha. I
But
learned
the
last
WNBA
weekend.
is set up perfectly though. They have Paige coming in soon too.
Yeah.
They have Paige, they have Juju, they have Kiki. They got everything. Just do something.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful
No,
though,
I've
but
never seen. Yeah. Go ahead.
no, you can finish.
Go ahead. You never see?
I was gonna say I've never seen a Rika Jackson basketball highlight, but I know that she has a great face card, and they'll never decline.
Listen, I'm not afraid
Tell
to
you that
admit that
much.
I followed Cameron Brink and Lexi Brown, and I'm not afraid to
That's
admit
real.
that it had nothing to do with basketball. Shit, what am I supposed to?
I'm gonna be honest.
lie?
It's you listen. If we listen and we don't judge is real, then what's her name? Cambridge. Yeah, I was very infatuated with that tall woman.
Cambridge? I don't know who
Cambridge,
Cambridge
yeah.
is. Cam
The
Brink.
tall one, Cambridge.
Blonde?
No.
No, Cambridge.
Nope,
Yeah,
the tall girl
I forgot her
who
first name.
was beating up the girls in Africa and calling them monkeys.
She
that
left
girl.
the
The
WNBA.
tall one. Yeah. You know
What
what
the
I'm talking about?
hell?
I forgot her. That's her last name. I forgot her first name.
Liz
It's
Cambridge.
like Evelyn
Liz,
or
yeah.
Evan.
Gambage.
Yeah, Liz,
Gambage.
yeah.
Isn't it Gambage?
Yeah, beige.
Yeah,
You're right.
beige.
No, you're right, Nas. You're
Yeah,
right.
Cam
You're right.
Beige.
You're right. Yep.
Liz Gambage, I think is what it is. Cambage
I was
or
very
Cambage?
Oh,
infatuated
this
with that.
girl. I understand. I know you. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
Makes
think
more sense.
I think she led the league in scoring one year.
She wasn't a bad NBA player. She just didn't have. She's very immature. Literally immature.
Well, she did not lead the league in
I
scoring,
don't-
but she did average 23 points per game. But go ahead.
But yeah, I'm excited for the WNBA. I'm excited for Unrivaled. I'm happy I started tuning in more.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of what they have in store for the future. I love Juju's bun too. It's like her trademark. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just dope. Yeah, that's just dope. That's just dope.
But
Yeah.
speaking of electrifying players, one of the NBA's most electrifying players is in the news lately. We gotta take this with a grain of salt, but there are NBA executives who are spreading rumors that Ja Morant might be on the trade block soon. It is not a.
Why?
It is not like a real rumor, but it was.
Yeah.
It's put out there. You know what I mean? It's probably a ploy or a scheme to make something happen. I'm sure, but with the
So I
Luka
saw
Doncic
that too, Nas.
situation, considering
Yeah.
everything Ja went through, can this Luka thing really start becoming a domino effect where GMs
Where
are
no one-
now more willing to accept that we have to choose our culture over the superstars to build something special?
I don't think so. I don't think that we'll ever see this replicated again because of the reaction that Nico got. And Nico himself even said that he didn't expect this reaction. So
What if-
that tells me that he did not thoroughly think of this situation.
What if,
I
for whatever reason, the Mavs succeed? Let's say in an alternate world, they win a championship. Do you think that creates a domino effect? It was like, damn, maybe it's
It
not a
depends.
terrible idea.
Other GMs have to think, are you willing to trade 15 years of success for your franchise, 15 years of money for one championship and 2 years of that money?
How many GMs are going to be there for 15 years?
How many
Yeah, I think
GMs want
it's
an
less
opportunity to
about.
get hired again? Nico will never be a GM. Ever.
No,
Never,
I will say
if they
this,
win a
though.
championship, he's definitely getting hired again.
He will never be
Great
hired again
deals
as
that
a
he's
GM.
done.
I promise.
No,
If they win a
he has some
championship, you
great
don't
deals
think
that
he'll
he's
get
done in the
hired again?
past.
No.
Oh, no, I think you're bugging. I think if they win a
That
championship,
Nico-
everybody's going to be like, damn, he was right.
Yeah, that's true.
For 1
Nico
year.
also has great.
1 year.
So, look at
That was
Pelinka
the
and look
point
at
of
the
the
praise
trade.
he gets.
Let me let Pluto talk because I keep cutting him off.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I don't think that has anything to do with culture. I just think these like owners at small market teams with these like very, 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 very pivotal, like, influential superstars, and then they're not living up to what they're supposed to be in the back, on the back shit that we don't see. They don't want to pay no immature kid $345 million, like someone who doesn't come into the gym and work out and puts the work in. I think it's more about the fact that they don't want to like give up all that money for like hearsay. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like they don't want to give up that money no more. And if they can control that, they are. I do expect not. I don't expect any player to make like the supermax at the level of like where Luka was about to get it or not. I do think the trades before these players can get to that contract are going to happen. I really do.
Oh, no.
I think so, but I don't think
Overcommon thing.
someone
plenty
of
of
that
players are going to get the
caliber will ever
supermax.
happen again.
You don't think of what?
I don't think somebody of like Luka's caliber, like a top, I would say a top 5 player in the league. Because I'm trying to think of the top 5. Yeah. Outside of Embiid, I don't see this happening to anybody ever again. This was such a weird trade. This was like an ego trade for Nico. And he's been very clear about it afterwards. All the reports about it afterwards. This is very clearly Nico just thought that Luka couldn't do it after he already did it, and he wanted the success. That's what I think.
It sucks.
I don't think this ever happens again.
If we gotta entertain the rumors. If if it happens, I'm just saying, with everything Ja Morant has gone through, what do you think is more likely, that Ja Morant has got his shit together, or that the Grizzlies had gotten better at hiding it? So if
Ja Morant got his shit together,
I think it's more likely after two back-to-back incidents of a recorded firearm from your superstar franchise player. I think the Grizzlies have gotten better at hiding the dumb things that Ja has gotten himself into, as opposed to Ja getting his shit together. But let's not get into that part. If this magically sparks trade rumors and trade conversations, who do you think is the most realistic and best fit for
Atlanta. Atlanta.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Say it again. Atlanta.
With
He
Trey?
fits the culture. No. Straight up trade. Straight up trade for Trey Ja. Maybe Atlanta gives a couple pieces. He fits them. He fits the culture. And you guys know what kind of culture I'm talking about. The strip club culture. He also he will bring.
I don't think that's how they search for players, though. I don't think that's their logic. Like, if that was the case, James Harden would have been in Atlanta Hawk years ago. Like, that's not. I don't think that's how they look for players.
I was being funny. No, but he does fit that team though. Like for a straight up trade, you have a defender, Dyson Daniel. You have I think it's the second year player who's hurt right now, who just got hurt, Johnson. I think it fits well. I think it's great. It's a gritty team. I think he really does look good in Atlanta. I think the city of Atlanta would really embrace him and who he is and what he represents. Because, like you said, go ahead.
Like, what? I don't understand. What are you looking to get out of that trade? Why would, as Atlanta, like, if you're trading Trey, it's over. We just traded.
No, it's been over.
We just traded DeAndre Hunter. We just traded.
Why trade for Jonathan if it's been over?
So we're finally gonna give Trey the release he deserves, and we're just gonna make Ja's life miserable now? Like, what do you mean? Why would you do that?
Ja's only a year younger than him.
Why would you do that?
Like it fits better. It fits better. It fits way better to me. I think it fits better.
but
I also think
Atlanta's
Trey
not a
fits
good
good in
team.
Memphis. I think other players would go play over there with him. I really do. I think they have the cap space and things like that. I don't think you guys. I'm not thinking of like trade the player and they're stuck with that team. I'm thinking the team will make moves to add other players or add players during like the offseason. I don't
To
think
go
it's
to
just
Atlanta?
John.
Atlanta's giving me no hint that they're ever going to help their star because they've never really done that while Trae Young was there.
No, they're holding him captive. It's kidnapping.
Yeah, they
live
have
TV
not
kidnapping.
really put a team around him that makes sense.
No ransom, no ransom, no ransom, nothing. We're just gonna hold Trae, until someone comes and grabs him for 5 first-round picks.
Let me give you mine.
There's 30 teams
I think
in
you'll
the
like
NBA.
mine.
There's 30 teams in the NBA, and if I had to rank them from 1 to 30 based on which ones are most likely to get Ja Morant, Atlanta would be bottom 10 without a shadow of a doubt.
No,
Atlanta would be
I don't
bottom
think so.
3.
They have a player. I don't think so. They have a player that they're willing to get off of that Memphis can use to still be a decent team. I think that really. I mean, what other team needs a point guard right now, or who's willing to trade
Memphis getting Trae Young in return makes sense for Memphis. Yes, because we're sacrificing this guy who we don't believe in anymore, and let's at least try with Trae Young, see if his playmaking can make us better. We're not talking about Memphis. Why in the world would Atlanta pursue this? Why would they choose to ruin Trae Young's career? And then let's go ruin Ja Morant's. Let's go ruin every young black man's life that we can until it's over. until there's no more left. Like, what do you mean?
I don't think What's your choice? Team stays the same team.
All right.
Hold on. I don't think that team stays the same team. I think they make moves to make it a better team, but you don't believe.
But why? Why would you think that when they've never done that with Trae?
Ja Morant's not this commodity that everybody wants. Like, what do you mean?
I genuinely do believe that Trae has a better opportunity of winning than Ja. I genuinely do believe that.
I also agree with that. I don't think either one of them would win, but by
this
odds,
is like percentage, like small percentage.
Yeah, by odds, I would say yeah. But what's yours, Tyler?
The Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards. I think he makes perfect sense there. I think putting him on a team that shoots a lot of threes and has a lot of spacing makes the most sense. They have Dante DiVincenzo. They have Naz Reid. They have Jaden McDaniels, who's picked it up. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, that's picked it up. Anthony Edwards, obviously. I think he fits perfectly on that team, and they need a point guard, and he matches Anthony Edwards' timeline.
I like that. I think he's difficult.
Back.
I think he's difficult to play somewhere just because he's not like a traditional playmaker. He can make plays. I'm not knocking his ability to make plays. It's just he's not your traditional point guard playmaker.
Score first.
More like a Westbrook.
He's more like a Westbrook. Yeah, that's kind of like the realm I was looking at for sure. Where he's a playmaker, he's just not your traditional playmaker. The passes just seem to be there. He's not necessarily always creating them, if that makes sense. But let's not get into his play style. I would say because he's a scoring big. I'm sorry, not a scoring guard. I'm sorry. I like his athletic ability, and I like what this team has already with ball handlers and playmakers in other positions. I'd be interested to see him in Orlando.
That was my other one, actually. That was my other pick.
I think Ja fits better when he is given the responsibility to score instead of playmake. I believe Franz and Paolo are both phenomenal playmakers. I think Ja is not too much older than Paolo. He is, of course, older by a few years, but not like drastically. I think
it's like 2 years.
It has to be a little bit more than that because Ja did at least 2 or 3 years in college. But it has to be a couple more years.
But
either way,
Ja did 2 years in college, only 2.
Yeah, Ja, but that's what I'm saying.
3-year age difference, that's nice.
Yeah, 3-year age difference, that's not terrible. That's not bad at all. Not let me just put it straight up. So I think he fits there. Like I said, I do like Franz and Paolo as the primary ball handlers of that team when it comes to Ja bring it up the court and then pass it to them. They're going to make the play happen. Use your athletic ability. Use your ability to dribble to get the opportunities that you need to get. I don't know what that means for his role. So that's where it gets a little questionable. He's a better player than Franz, but is he a better player than Paolo? And is he guaranteed a better player than Franz? I don't know. Is he guaranteed a better player than Franz? It's questionable.
I think Ja Morant is amazing, but I think because of his assist numbers, people view him differently than what he is. His usage number is very high. He's not really creating as much as he's passing. So
his hype has down a little bit. Though,
so you're saying it's questionable,
his hype
right?
isn't the same.
Yeah, it's questionable. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's questionable. He could arguably be the third option on that team, and I believe that is a great scenario to be in.
That's a winning team if he's the third option.
100%.
For sure. So you got him over
Franz
as the option?
I have Franz over Ja as an option. Yes, I think very highly of Franz Wagner. I think Franz Wagner is one of the most versatile players in the league right now. He can do everything. I was going to say damn near, but he can do everything. No, not the best.
He's a much better defender than I thought he was.
He is a phenomenal.
Now, he became better at shooting.
He became
better shooting this year, though. He's doing really good at 3-point shooting this year, though.
The shooting too, yeah. He's improved everywhere. He probably could have been most improved.
Yeah, hot take.
He low-key was.
I'll give you a hot take right here, right now. Franz Wagner this season is better than Paolo Banchero.
I don't argue with you on that.
Paolo Banchero came back from that injury and he took a large dip. He took a very large dip.
Not the same player right now. I think he's still nursing that injury.
Even before the injury, it's debatable.
Before those first games that Paolo played this season, he was astronomical. He was doing phenomenal things.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He went down really, really early.
Yeah, he went down super early. He was. I'll give you just to make my point here for the people listening who might think I'm crazy. Just to make my point here, let me see if this isn't working for me.
I have his stats if you wanted.
I was about to pull them up. I have them on my phone.
All right.
Let me do it really quick just to give you guys an idea. Pre-injury,
they were shooting 12 free throws a game.
Yeah, pre-injury, he only played 5 games. So, of course, pre-injury is barely nothing. But he started the season averaging 29 points per game, 9 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 49% from the field, 34% from 3. Came back from a long, long time off. He's played 17 games since he came back, and he's only averaging 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, still 5 assists, so he's still keeping up that. 28% from the field, 28% from 3, 40% from the field. So he has taken a drastic dip. So my hot take, Franz Wagner is the best player in Orlando this season. I do believe that.
I agree. You won't hear me say otherwise. I think Franz has his play style. He has a much higher ceiling. Paolo, to me, is closer to Blake Griffin without the injuries, which is an amazing player. But being able to defend, being able to pass, being able to score, you don't think so?
I don't like the comparison, but go ahead.
Wait, why not?
I think they're two different players.
Why?
Way different. I think Paolo's a better shooter than Blake was at that age, at the age that Blake was. I think Paolo's also a better passer than Blake at that age. I think Paolo's a more complete player than Blake was both at that time.
I don't think he's a better passer or defender, but I can agree with he's a absolutely better shooter, without a doubt.
I think he's just more of a complete player than Blake. That's just me, though.
What do you think, Nas? The Blake to Paolo comparison.
I don't know how I feel, to be honest. I can see
they could both play bully ball. They both can finesse very well.
I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, I think that is a fair comparison. I think they do relatively a lot of the same things. They're super athletic power forwards. They were about the same height, about the same weight. They play off the post. Paolo Banchero last season was one of the most effective post players in the NBA. I don't know if you guys even know that. But from a success in the post, he was literally top 5 with Jokic when it comes to making something happen off a post up. which is also fitting for Blake Griffin. You know, what I mean that's the type of player that he was. Um, yeah,
Both
I think
fantastic rebounders.
I think that's a fair description. I think Paolo is at this
A
point
better
in his
ball
career a
handler.
better playmaker.
Yeah.
At this point in his career, I would say he's a better defender as well.
Better shooter.
I wouldn't say that. Early Blake. I would not say he's a better defender than him.
You don't think so?
I could not.
I'd say worst case scenario, they're about even.
That's what I think. I think they're very similar when it comes to that. But I think I'm giving Blake the edge because he's a better rebounder.
Yeah. I think Blake is a more traditional power forward. I will say that. I think he's a more traditional power forward. I think Paolo is a big small forward.
Yeah, Paolo's like a hybrid. He's a weird player. He's like two players in one. That's how I view him.
Like a tweener.
Yeah, but I think it's a fair comparison. I think it's a fair comparison.
Baby.
I'm telling you, if you look up their stats, if you follow their play styles, they are very, very similar players statistically.
Who's a better scorer though at that time, Paolo or Blake right now? Like if you were going to put the,
I would say it's the same.
Season.
No, Blake was the better scorer.
Remember Blake's rookie year, he averaged 22 and 12.
No, Blake was the better scorer. At this point in their career, Blake was definitely the better scorer.
I don't know. I think Paolo is, but I don't want to hold us up with all this. I don't think Blake Griffin had a 16-foot turnaround jump shot. I also don't think Blake Griffin could create off the dribble like him either. But that's just
Blake Griffin could. He was not. The issue is Blake Griffin never had a three, but he did. He was able to shoot. He did have a mid-range game.
I don't know.
But that was it. It was only.
Yeah, Blake Griffin was god awful from three at the beginning of his career. Golly.
It's crazy how much he turned it around in Detroit, bro.
No facts.
Yo, he was a shooter in Detroit. No, he's a freaking shooter.
He did everything in Detroit. He was a watered down LeBron in Detroit.
Shout out to Blake Griffin
really
for real. Random side note. Shout out to Blake Griffin because I really do believe he deserves so much props for the season that he put together in Detroit. That is not talked about enough after having so many years of injury prone. Yeah, a lot of injury prone seasons, and the Clippers going over to Detroit and being all NBA third team, an all-star, 24 points per game, a much improved three-point shooter, completely turning his career around. Unfortunately, the injuries didn't really stop. They kind of kept going, so that didn't really flourish into anything. But shout out to Blake Griffin. What he did in Detroit was phenomenal. It was a really
Is Blake Griffin a Hall of Famer?
But it was a cool comeback story.
No.
Almost comeback story.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He's a
very good Hall of Famer.
No, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
He's definitely going to make it in the college net, like the Naismith one, but I don't think he's going to make it to the NBA Hall of Fame. If that makes sense, you guys.
Hall of very good for him.
There's an NBA Hall of
He
Fame.
never really won anything. I don't even think he has a gold medal.
There's no NBA Hall of Fame. I've never seen that.
There's like two different kind of Hall of Fames. I'm pretty sure.
There's only one Hall of Fame.
I'm pretty sure. There's like a college one and there's like a professional one. I'm pretty sure. Unless they put people twice in there.
There is a collegiate Hall of Fame. There's one in like Tennessee. We saw it when we went for H&R Block.
I
don't think anybody ever talks about that one though. The one we're talking about is the Naismith Hall of Fame. That is the regular Hall of Fame, isn't it?
Yeah, the Naismith one is the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Naismith Hall of Fame is just the regular Hall of Fame. Yeah, which takes into account your entire basketball career, from high school all the way up to professional.
I still think I think they're the same. I think they're very similar players, and I really enjoy watching both of them.
I can see that.
I think Paulo's just a little bit more skilled. That's my thing with all this.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, he could shoot, and that's what I think benefits him. He shoots better, and then I think Blake was stronger, so he rebounded better.
Yeah, I think Paolo is a more skilled player. He can shoot better. He can dribble better. I do think he's a better passer personally, because I am fond of his playmaking ability. But Blake Griffin had Chris Paul, so it's like, not a lot of playmaking.
He didn't really need that.
And we saw in Detroit he could pass.
Yeah, but either way, this was originally about Ja Morant. But yeah, I would like that would be my pick, Ja Morant to the Orlando Magic. I do like that fit in Minnesota as well. I agree with you though. From the beginning of this whole thing, I don't think it's a real rumor. But after this Luka thing,
Oh, it's
man, we
not.
don't know. We don't know what's possible.
The GM came out and said that this is fabricated immediately.
Well, yeah, but I mean, doesn't he have to?
I mean, no.
Literally, he has to.
I think he
He could
has
just
to.
ignore it.
That's true. He could. But last topic of the
'Cause it's
day,
not
ladies
real.
and gentlemen, and we'll cut it as short as we possibly can. I personally don't have much to say about it, but maybe you guys do. It is unfortunate, of course, but Victor with bananas season has been cut short.
I love this.
Hector Banana Bread.
Victor Banana Bread season has been cut short. But in all seriousness, from my understanding, he has a blood clot in his shoulder, if I'm not mistaken, which can lead to a lot of stuff. So, not to put any negativity in the air, I'm not even going to talk that way. Hopefully he gets better soon. Victor Wembanyama's season is over, unfortunately. They just got the Aaron Fox, so they won't have the opportunity to mesh and to build that chemistry. They're going to have to wait until training camp for next season, unfortunately. There's rumors, not rumors, let me take that back. There's fan speculation that they're doing this for the sake of a better draft pick. That there's
And
things
that's
that they could possibly
what
do.
I think happened.
That there's things that they could possibly do to allow him to come back earlier, but they're going to just shut him down because it could lead to a better draft pick. The last time a San Antonio Spur got shut down, they ended up drafting Tim Duncan the season after. So, do you think they're trying to relive some history?
Yes, that team.
Yeah.
So I think he's injured. I think he has a blood clot. I think it's not as severe as they were saying because remember he recently came back from an injury. I think that they might have noticed that forming at some point. I think that they're being cautious with their franchise superstar and keeping him out just to be safe. There's no reason to rush him back. Let him, take the full time to recover, and they get a better draft pick. That team is going to have one of Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey. I don't. That team is going to be ridiculous. And they also have the Hawks pick. Keep in mind, they still have Atlanta Hawks pick. That's unprotected.
I didn't know that.
I hate it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They have two
That's
picks
crazy.
this year.
Yeah, I think I do also think that there could be some underlying reasons here, and they're not wrong for it. At the end of the day, shutting him down could be the best idea. Um, I have no way of proving my conspiracy theory, but I don't know, man. You have a history. You know what I mean? You shut down David Robinson in 1995, and in 1996, you drafted Tim Duncan. What a coincidence. You know what I mean? Here we are shutting down. Now we're shutting down Hector Banana Bread, and next year Cooper Flagg is available. What a coincidence. I don't know.
You shut down Kawhi Leonard and you pick up DeJounte Murray.
What
I don't
a
know.
coincidence. I don't know. Let's
That one didn't happen, but I'm gonna pretend it did.
they probably have a Giannis type guy stashed in their basement too, just like the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah. Cooper Flagg.
Oh yeah, they got Cooper Flagg. He has missed the last couple Duke games, so maybe he's in San Antonio somewhere in someone's basement.
Yeah, he's in Victor's. Hector Banana Bread.
I want to say this though, because I know we're joking and stuff like that, but I know they're saying that it's not going to be that bad, and that's what their job is to kind of play things down. But I hope this isn't like Chris Bosh-ish, like a Chris Bosh effect where we lose a great big man due to the fact that he can't get back right and the blood clots keep coming back. Like that's some scary stuff, and I hope he is healthy because this would be like if he can't come back or his health is at risk from playing. This will be one of the biggest what ifs ever in NBA history. Like, surpass Brandon Roy, surpass Derrick Rose. They'll surpass a lot of players that we wish we could have had a healthy, NBA career from them. So I just really, on a serious note, kind of hope he just gets right, and is able to play next year. For real.
Yeah, I don't like
real.
Thinking about it because I feel like I'm putting negative possibilities out in the air. But yeah, I do agree 100%. If God forbid, I do not want this to happen whatsoever. I would love to see Wemby's career flourish. But God forbid something like that does happen. This would be the biggest what if in history. I don't think there would be a bigger one. I really don't think so.
This man's lying. Nas is undoubtedly lying. Earlier, he said that people on OKC could die. He couldn't care less.
Say that.
And now he's cares about the Spurs.
Oh, right.
Do you remember that, Pluto? We were just talking about earlier. He's like, I don't care about them. All I care about is the Lakers.
I don't care about the Spurs. Wemby deserves to have
I don't care about the Spurs. I don't care what happens to their young budding star. I don't care about their young core. They can die. That's what he's saying.
Wemby deserves to have a fruitful NBA career. Listen, I plead the fifth, all right? Man. That is the end of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was episode 13, man. If you tapped in this far, leave a comment. We check those comments, man, and we'll be seeing who's supporting. Me and Tyler got some brand new content coming out as well. It's going to come out after this episode, so y'all stay tapped into the YouTube channel, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. We're done. Hoop Talk out. Deuces.